Cats are obligate carnivores, and in this video we are going to go through some of the best and the worst raw cat foods you can give your cat. Now, raw cat food is meant to mimic, is meant to replicate what your cat would catch outside in the wild. So it is the closest you can feed your cat from a biological standpoint. Now, before we get into all the brands I have got for you today, I want you to make 2 or 3 considerations before you get into the nitty-gritty. The first one is make sure you do your own research when it comes to the best raw cat foods. Contact the manufacturer, read the descriptions on the website, prod and try to contact them if there's something you do not understand. The second one is try to make sure that all the manufacturers who you buy from are either DEFRA approved or UK pet food, or they are somewhat regulated. And this is a bit of a silver lining actually, because some of the kibble companies we hate so much will also be on these federations or will also have these standards, but nevertheless it is always a good idea to check that your manufacturer is doing everything by the book, as it were. The last consideration I want you to make is for you to shop local. Shop from your local pet shop. No subscriptions, and try not to go to big box retailers, because let me tell you something, local independent pet shops will care more about you and your cat than any subscription service or any big box retailer will ever do. So whenever possible, please shop local. Your independent will love you. For each manufacturer, we are going to analyze a couple recipes, so we aren't just going to go over 1 or 2 recipes. We are going to see and we are going to give some commentary on every single manufacturer. We are starting with an OG, as it were, Nutriment, which has been very prevalent and one of the longer lasting members of raw dog and cat food ever. And we are starting with the chicken formula for cats, and the ingredients here are British chicken with bone, dressed carcass, British beef heart, British beef kidneys, Scottish cold water salmon oil, kelp powder, spirulina powder, wheat germ oil, which is natural in vitamin E, etc, etc. So it says here that it's low in fat naturally and contains high quality protein. So this is 100% meat, offal and superfoods. The second recipe we are going to go for is the beef recipe. The beef recipe contains British beef heart 63%, British chicken with bone, dressed carcasses, that's 30%, beef kidney, beef liver 6%, and cold water salmon oil, kelp powder, spirulina and wheat germ oil. So the additives, the superfoods, are the same across the board in all recipes from my understanding here. The last recipe we are going to go over are the tripe meatballs, which is a bit out there in terms of what manufacturers might want you to buy. And the ingredients here are 99% beef tripe and vegetable fiber 1%. So we here have a variety of different foods for your cat coming from Nutriment. And again, Nutriment, very highly established. You can buy Nutriment pretty much anywhere, but of course from your local pet shop will be a lot better. The second manufacturer we are going to look at is Bella and Juke, another OG, and we are going to go with the feline Lucky Lamb and Ducky, and this will contain 100% natural fresh ingredients. It's free from grains and fillers, and this will support your cat's optimum health according to Bella and Juke. Now the ingredients here are lamb hearts, that's 62%, lamb heart, lamb tripe, lamb kidney, lamb liver. We then have duck with bone, 33%, lamb broth, herring oil, virgin olive oil, and that is it basically. We have a fair limited amount of ingredients. That is good because traceability is a big thing, and whenever we talk about raw cat food, we want to make sure that all the percentages are as clear as possible if we can, and that everything is labeled as correctly as possible, just so that we can actually trace back and see what we are giving our cat, because that's what we want. We want traceability. The second recipe we are going to go over is the tempting turkey with rabbit and lamb. So here we have a different variety of cat food. We don't just have beef or chicken, we have turkey, rabbit and lamb. So this is going to give your cat the variety they might want. It's incredibly popular, and it's incredibly good, I believe, for cats to rotate the meats to get different sources of vitamins and minerals and all those nutrient densities and those profiles coming from as many meat sources as you can provide them with, because that is the spice of life, variety really. We have turkey, that's 57%, and that's turkey meat with bone and turkey heart. We get 30% rabbit, and that's exclusively rabbit meat. That's pretty good in my opinion. We get 8% lamb, lamb kidney, lamb liver. We get lamb bone broth with gelatin and olive oil and herring oil. So again, it's 100% meat and it's 100% traceable. We then get into the lip-licking chicken and salmon with lamb, and this is yet another cat food. The ingredients are chicken hearts, that's 35%, chicken with bone, 30%, salmon, that's 20%, lamb, 8%, lamb kidney and lamb liver, lamb bone broth with gelatin, herring oil and virgin olive oil. So from here we see chicken and we say salmon and lamb. Chicken, salmon and lamb are the ingredients we see here. It is actually, if you think about it from a biological standpoint, your cat would never eat fish. Nevertheless, fish is a great variety of omega-3s, anti-inflammatories, packed with benefits, is incredibly good, and salmon is a phenomenal meat in my book. So that is Bella and Juke. You can get this food on subscription, but I rather you shop local. The next one is going to be Natural Instinct, and this is for dogs and for cats. They don't specifically have a cat food, which is, you know, it's a much of a muchness in my opinion. We get 100% chicken, and that is all we get. That's all the information we get. We get some analysis of moisture and proteins and phosphorus and calcium and all that, but we only get chicken in terms of what they put in the recipe. It's 100% chicken with bone, and this is a complementary cat food, so they do not do completes in terms of 80-10-10, the 80% being lean meat, 10% being offal, of which 5% is liver and 10% bone. So this is 100% chicken with bone. So this will be a complementary cat food. The second one, another complementary cat food, is 100% beef green tripe, and the ingredients here are 100% beef green tripe. Now, we always advocate for people to not DIY their cat food. We think that it's a lot better for you to buy a pre-made tub that you just thaw and you give it to your dog, and that's all the dog will ever get, or that's all the cat will ever get. Why? It's a lot easier, it's a lot more sustainable in my opinion for you to put down some cat food that you have just thawed and you just give it to them, instead of pulling different ingredients from different places. That tends to be a bit more tedious, and unless you have a lot of time, and if you do, more power to you, it's a bit more finicky when it comes to feeding your cat. The third one is the pure lamb, and this is again 100% lamb with bone, and it's lamb 100%. They don't really specify how much bone they give you in the recipe, so how much is lamb and how much is bone, we don't really know. They don't really tell you unless I am not looking at the right place. So please do your own research. But from here, I can only see that lamb is 100% the ingredients, and they do not specify one way or another. Another manufacturer is Perform, and this is the Simply Rawsome category. This is for adult cats, and is chicken and ground bone with heart. and it's a complete and balanced meal. And we get chicken with bone, that's 80%, and chicken heart 20%. So we get a straight 80-20 and the heart is 20%. That, in my opinion, is a bit too high on just heart. But if they say it's complete and balanced, it's complete and balanced, folks. I rather you get a bit more variety when it comes to offal, when it comes to liver, when it comes to different sauces, rather than chicken with bone, which is 80%. They don't really specify which percentage is chicken and which percentage is bone, and chicken heart is 20%. Nevertheless, this is an option, and it's complete with taurine, and they add that's what they add, actually. The second one is the farm rabbit with ground bone, and this is 100% mince whole farmed rabbit, including liver and kidney with ground bone. So my understanding here is that they have literally minced the whole rabbit, and the whole rabbit will roughly do an 80-10-10 or contain an 80-10-10, whereby 80% of the rabbit will be lean meat, 10% will be offal and other bits, the lungs, the spleen, the tongue, the gizzard, everything. And 5% will be the liver content, which is incredibly powerful and incredibly good for your cat. And the bone will be roughly 10%. So this is just rabbit. It's a single protein food for your cat, and it's rabbit, folks. We then get into the farm rabbit with ground bone and ox heart. So we add another protein, another animal here from per form. We get 80% rabbit and 20% ox heart. So the rabbit is the 80%, so that would be the 80-10-10 within the rabbit. That is my understanding of the recipe. And ox heart will be 20%. It could be a bit high in heart, and maybe your cat might not do as well on too much heart. It would really depend on your cat. Another manufacturer we have here is Paws Raw, and this is again it takes you back whenever we talk about Paws Raw, because they have been around for a very long time. And we get the complete cat chicken food, and this comes in 50 grams for 4 cats. The ingredients are 80% British chicken with bone, chicken heart, chicken liver, that's 97.5%. And then we get into the superfoods: beet pulp, copra oil, sunflower and linseed oil, molasses, sea kelp, etc, etc. But the bulk of the recipe is the British chicken with bone, the heart and the liver, and that's 97.5%. So only 2.5% are superfoods for your cat here. The second recipe is the rabbit, which tend to be quite popular with cats. My cat likes rabbit. And this is another complete cat food. We get rabbit with bone, ox heart, ox liver, and that's 97.5% of the overall recipe. And then the superfoods comprise 2.5% of the recipe, and that's again your sea kelps, your beet pulps, your copra oil, etc, etc. So again, we combine a couple different ingredients, a couple different meats, a couple different animal sources, and that, in my opinion, benefits your cat a lot more than just feeding them one single protein, just chicken or just rabbit or just mice or whatever. The third one is the turkey, and this is again another complete cat food. And then we get into the 80% British turkey with bone, turkey heart, turkey liver, and that's once again 97.5%, plus the superfoods, which tend to be the same for all recipes within the same manufacturer. So the same manufacturer will have the same amount of superfoods, and those will be standard, and they will be added back to every single recipe. And that's what Paws Raw tends to do here with their recipes. Another quite popular cat food is They Love It, and this is the raw dog food, but this is for cats. Now, I'm not all that keen really on all these bulk buying options from certain manufacturers. Let me tell you why. Because whenever you buy things in bulk, yes, they might be a bit cheaper, but they're not as practical. You have to fiddle with the packages a lot more. You have to partition, you have to do a bit of extra legwork. In my opinion, it's a lot better to buy tubs. You thaw the tub and you know that you're going to give your cat a third each day for 3 days. That takes the pain away, the pressure away from you ever having to think about what you are feeding their cat. Nevertheless, you can get a kilo of sprats, a kilo of mackerel, a kilo of sardines, and then you can get raw chicken wings and paddy whack, etc, etc. The recipe we get here is 10 kilos of chicken bone and offal complete. This is 10 kilos of raw frozen mince. Is approximately 90% chicken protein, approximately 10% bone, and approximately 10% chicken offal, which is liver. So it's just the liver, I believe, or is it both? What is it? So they try to follow the 80-10-10 pattern, and again, they seem to be a bulk buyer, retailer or manufacturer, and this is one of the options. The second option is 20 kilos of frozen mince, and this again is the chicken bone and offal, so you can buy in different sizes. And the third one would be the lamb and chicken complete, and this would be again 2 proteins put together, and you can get 20 kilos of this delivered to your door apparently. The composition here is 40% of a mixture of lamb, trim lamb heart and lamb lung, 10% lamb offal, 40% chicken and 10% chicken bone. So we get a couple different animals, a couple different proteins, and I tend to promote those a bit more because you will combine a few different vitamins and minerals within the food, and I think that is always a good thing for your cat. Another manufacturer is Paws Raw, and this is the beef complete 80-10-10, and this comes in big blocks and small blocks. The one thing I like about them is that they say that unlike some cheap meats on the market, our meats have no added water and are individually wrapped and come with DEFRA numbers, and this is really important because you can actually trace it back to DEFRA in case something happens. And batch codes and are forward tested as the meat comes in and then is batch tested. We do not make our food in a backstreet garage with no DEFRA license or testing for nasties. Incredibly important that you adhere to all the rules and regulations as a manufacturer. So this is really good. Now the composition here is 100% raw beef mince for dogs with no added water, additives or preservative, natural bone content for the essential calcium. Looking more closely is ox heart, ox trim, ox lung and trachea, 10% ox rib, 5% ox liver and 5% ox spleen. Actually, the ingredients are here. They're 80% edible grade beef trim, beef lung, beef trachea, beef heart, 10% beef ribs, 5% beef spleen and 5% beef liver. So the bone content is approximately 10%. The next recipe we are going to look at is the premium beef with oily fish, and this is another 80-10-10. The ingredients here are ox lung and trachea, ox heart, beef rib, ox liver, ox spleen and whole herring, but we do not get percentages. Only we get the 80-10-10. We do not get an analysis of how much roughly is in the recipe. And again, this is something that different manufacturers try to do differently or want to do differently, and this, in my opinion, should be standard across the board, but it isn't standard across the board, unfortunately. We then go into Poppy's Picnic. Poppy's Picnic has been around for a very, very long time, and we start with the beef and chicken meatballs. These are naturally balanced, as they say. They are great balls for power for cats and kittens from 8 weeks. The ingredients are 59% free-range chicken, meat, heart and bone, 32% grass-fed beef meat, heart, liver and kidney, crude wheat germ and wild salmon oil, kelp, wheatgrass, celery, and other vitamins and minerals, and other additives like taurine, for example. So chicken and beef, not just beef, but grass-fed beef. I absolutely love that. It's not just any cattle, it's grass-fed beef, which is amazing. The second one is the free-range chicken, and these are again meatballs, 74% organic free-range chicken. That's the meat, the heart and the bone. 13% grass-fed beef, again the meat, the liver and the kidneys. And we then get into the superfoods. Packaging is really cute, the meatballs are really cute, and you can probably scoot them out and your cat might enjoy this different format because they tend to want to eat in mouse-sized meals, so that could be another advantage. Let's then talk about Kizzabrink UK Limited, and these people focus on food and exotic animal feeds and raw food diets, so they are raw feeding specialists. The one product we are going to look at is the hair mix, and this is a novel protein that not many manufacturers are doing. That's why I quite like the variety, and I quite like that certain manufacturers do things a bit differently. So we get 1 kilo here with the hair mix, and this contains hair as a unique and single protein source, and it's 100% hair, body, heart, lung and liver. It's 50% meat, 35% bone and 15% organs. And so, you know, it is different. It is different. And what they say it on the website is that please note soft bone contains less calcium than hard bone, and therefore more is required to achieve the correct calcium level in a raw diet. So again, we have different manufacturers telling us different things, and this is the state of things, unfortunately, in the raw community. As much as I am a raw feeding lover, sometimes there is huge disparity between the percentages we get for different manufacturers, yet the claims of complete and balanced are the same, if not the absolute same. So certain regulations might need to come into force because not all can be complete and balanced when the recipes are so varied. Luna and Me is probably the cutest raw food you can buy on the market. They have these little patties like burgers, and they look wonderful. They look absolutely delightful. The packaging is really lovely, and they have that unique branding, and I've always said that they are the cutest raw food you can buy in the United Kingdom. The ingredients are chicken with bone, chicken liver, chicken heart, taurine, salmon oil, sea kelp and green lipid mussel, among others. And these are the kitten box, and these are patties, 100% patties, so they are quite small. Again, mouse-sized meals. They don't sell you things in bulk in like 10 kilos or 20 kilos. These are small patties, more biologically close, more biologically appropriate for a cat, in my opinion. You have different things like raw blends. For example, you get rabbit patties, you get discovery boxes. You can get different varieties and different things and different bits and bobs from Luna and Me, as you can get from a lot of others. Another one is Hear Me Raw, and Hear Me Raw seem to have a big farm, and they seem to ship out whatever they catch on the farm or they produce on the farm, which is quite novel and quite cool in my opinion. You get wood pigeon, and this is a complete meal, and they come in half a kilo trays. So we here get 80% human grade meat, 10% bone and 10% liver, and this is a single protein, which is pigeon. So the pigeon gets shot down, gets frozen, prepared, and gets delivered to your door for your kitty to enjoy. And I would imagine that your cat and my cat would enjoy a little pigeon every now and then. So this is a single protein meal. It's a complete and balanced meal, as they claim on their website, and it's from 12 weeks. You can buy this. 80% pigeon meat, 10% pigeon bone, and 10% liver. And again, you see that the disparities between manufacturers are quite steep, and they are quite noticeable. But this is just a bit of a pet peeve of mine, really. Let's look at another bulk manufacturer, and this is Middleton Raw, and you can get 16 to 50 chubs, so in a 4K box, and these are chicken mince chubs. The composition here is 80% minced chicken with ground bone, 5% liver, 10% heart, and some additives and minerals. As they say on the website, this is a complete natural raw cat food for adult cats that contains nothing more than the ingredients listed, which is quite good. We want a limited amount of ingredients, we want clarity, and we want traceability whenever it comes to cat food. Another manufacturer is Simon's Kitchen, and this is chicken for adult cats. We get the 80% chicken meat, 10% offals, and 10% ground bones. I do not like the offals and the ground bones reference, because we do not get where those bones are coming from. Is it chicken bone, or is it beef bone, or what bone is it? And the same with offal. I love the chicken meat because they specify that it's chicken and it's meat coming from chicken. I enjoy that. I like that. But the 10% offal and the 10% ground bones, in my opinion, unless it's a mistake, in case it's a grammatical mistake and an error, I do not think that is as traceable as other recipes. This is a new one I didn't know, and this is the Alaska cat beef and chicken, and these tend to come in a little bit of a sausage. The composition is beef, meat, heart, throat, kidney, and liver, and meaty chicken back. So roughly 70% meat, 15% bone, and 15% organs. Again, this is a balanced raw meal, and this is the state of play. Sometimes we do not know what the perfect ratios are, and they all tell you that different ratios are, and they are all complete and balanced. Another manufacturer is Moggy, and we are going to look at the lamb and chicken. We get into the ingredients, and the ingredients are quality British lamb trim, heart and lung, free-range chicken, meat and bone, lamb offal, liver, kidney and spleen, kelp, spirulina, and taurine. And that, in my opinion, is a beautiful set of ingredients. That's an absolutely beautiful, small, quality, very well written, very well described list of ingredients, and I am a big fan. They come in 50-gram balls. I quite like the ingredients here. Another manufacturer is Barking Bistro, and the Whisker Licking Chicken. This is made in Northern Ireland, and I believe this is the only food that we have here that is from Northern Ireland. So hi to my folks in Northern Ireland. These contains 100% natural ingredients, is complete and balanced, and it's clearly labeled. So in terms of labeling, we have 75% minced chicken with ground bone, 10% chicken liver, 10% chicken heart, and 5%. And again, yes, it's a very small amount of ingredients. I like that, and you should like that too. As they say, 100% natural ingredients, made in Northern Ireland, complete and balanced, human grade ingredients. It's clearly labeled, and you just thaw and you serve it to your cat. And that's, in my opinion, how it should be done, for simplicity's sake. We sometimes do not want to be pulling away different things from different manufacturers even, or different ingredients, and be concocting our own meals for our cats. But if you like doing that sort of thing, that is more power to you, I suppose. Now, it is impossible for me to have reviewed every single manufacturer there is in the United Kingdom, so I am open to suggestions. Please let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.